So, I just caught up to One Piece.
Yo!
It took a while. I first found out about it through the 4Kids dub when I was in middle school, and I dropped it somewhere around the Skypiea arc. I tried getting back into it through the original Japanese dub and then the Funimation dub, but both times the pacing completely killed me before I was even out of East Blue. So I resigned myself to reading the manga when it's finished, but recent events that had been spoiled for me convinced me to jump right into it, and now here we are. One Piece is a manga that's been published in Shonen Jump for over 20 years now and has gone well over 900 chapters. It's also the most successful manga of all time and has even outsold heavy hitters like Spider-Man and Hulk in lifetime sales. I don't want to focus on what makes it good or how good it is. That's all pretty self-evident, and I'll probably be doing videos about that in the future. What I want to focus on for this video is why I think it has had such longevity and success and why 2 decades later, it's still so freaking good. The manga industry is not creator-friendly at all. Mangaka are left in a daily grind working day in and day out to draft, draw, and edit up to 18 pages in a single week, and if they're not successful enough, their bosses will pull the plug. One Piece's creator, Ichiro Oda, has a very different relationship with his bosses at Shonen Jump. The quality of One Piece has led to consistently high ratings and sales, which leads to bigger marketing pushes, which leads to more success, which leads to more freedom, and this freedom is the key. More freedom means more autonomy. It means more frequent breaks to refill the creative juices. It means more money to pay his assistants. It means more assistants to do touch-ups and put in all the little details Oda wants. This leads to each panel and page being chock full of little touches at a point in its life cycle where the lesser manga like Bleach would completely give up on having any backgrounds at all. And this is why One Piece is able to maintain such a high level of quality this far into its life. Oda has used his success and influence for great things. Instead of giving into greed and laziness, he has shed light on the dogmatic practices of Shonen Jump's editorial board. He has called them out for the way they have treated other writers and artists, and there's nothing Shonen Jump can do to stop him because he's Oda, the creator of One Piece. What are they going to do? Pull the plug? Free market capitalism at its finest. And this is very much in line with the philosophy of One Piece. Between Luffy wanting to be the Pirate King because the Pirate King is the one who has the most freedom, to pretty much everything involving the world government and more specifically the CPs, one thing is abundantly clear. The philosophy of One Piece is libertarianism. One Piece's world building is its most praised aspect, so you don't need to take my word for it. But here we have a story where going further and getting stronger are interchangeable concepts, and the further you get from the control of the world government, the closer you get to One Piece and the achievement of your dreams. And those dreams are one of the main hooks. Luffy wants to find the One Piece and become king of the pirates. Zoro wants to become the world's strongest swordsman. Nami wants to draw a map of the world. Usopp wants to become a brave warrior. Sanji wants to find the mystical All Blue. Chopper wants to find cures for all ailments. Robin wants to discover the true history. Frankie wants to circumnavigate the world on his ship. Brook wants to reunite with Laboon. And Jinbei wants to improve race relationships and also maybe die for Luffy. And so many of these dreams are intrinsically linked. The king of the pirates deserves no less than the world's strongest swordsman. The Phantom Island of Raftel is a requirement for Luffy, Nami, Robin, and Frankie, and maybe even Sanji if the most prevalent theory is to be believed, and these goals are used as the focal point of the 3 layers of storytelling in the series. First, we have the isolated arc storylines. This can be broken down into 4 parts. Find the island, interact with the island, solve the island's problem, and then leave to the next one. The second level is the sagas. This is a little harder to quantify. Sometimes it's pretty cut and dry like East Blue and Alabasta, where the series of islands all build to a singular turning point in the entire story. Sometimes it's a little stranger. Thriller Bark, for instance, doesn't really fit into any saga, but I for one group it in with the Paramount War just because of the introduction of Kuma and the conversation he has with Moria, also the fact that it's preluded by the battle between Blackbeard and Ace, which serves as the inciting incident for said war. And finally, we have the overarching story that progresses to this day. Oftentimes, elements like Dragon will be introduced only to be put on hold for several hundred chapters. There's things set up in the first chapter that still haven't come to pass decades later. And these checklists continue to grow while things get checked off. Because of that, you can kind of gauge how close we are to the end. I predict somewhere around 5 years left with 2 major epic sagas left to go. But that's a video for another day. In the end, I have thoroughly enjoyed One Piece. It is absolutely worth the hype. The way it handles its various levels of plot and setting is a sight to behold. Just stay away from the anime because that's a waste of time. I'm Mediocrity4. Thanks for watching.